Hi, this is Kevin Kennedy from Kennedy Real Estate Solutions in Old Saybrook. And today we are doing a seminar considering downsizing or resizing. What I like to call it is, should I stay or should I go? Now, I do have a packet that you can send an email or a text, and I'll be happy to get this to you. But in the meantime, see if I can give you some hints that might help. So the first question is, should I stay or should I go? Now, if you go, where are you going to go? And when are you going to go? How do you pay for the new home? And then the logistics involved of creating a plan, items you want to move, throw away, or give away. There's the tax implications and the legal implications of selling a home. First question is, staying in your home. Should I stay? Can you safely stay in your home? Is aging in place an option? Things to consider are grab bars, ramps, tub accessories, widened doorways, adding or remodeling a bath, and looking at things like throw rugs that can be a trip hazard. We want to keep you as safe as possible. If you decide that staying in your home is not an option, where will you go? Will you end up buying or will you end up renting? If you buy, will it be a single family, a condo, an apartment, an in-law apartment, retirement community, independent living, living with family, assisted living, and will you stay local or will you relocate? I mentioned the report that I have, and here is information, my email and cell phone for a text, so we'll put that on later if you have a question or are interested in getting the report. So the next question we ask is, when will you go? Now, from experience, moving before you're forced to because of a health issue is less stressful. If you're moving on your terms as opposed to terms that are inflicted on you. And some of the questions is, why would you downsize? You can enjoy retirement, less house to maintain. You may end up with lower living costs. You can free up capital. And depending on the environment you move to, it could be a social community versus isolation of your own home. And of course, we mentioned medical events that hopefully are not in the equation. Funding a new home, how do you pay for it? Well, cash is one option. The equity from your current home is an option. There's mortgages and there's also reverse mortgages. Now, a reverse mortgage is, you qualify for that based on your age and value of the house. I have great mortgage people that can help you with that. And while reverse mortgage is not right for everybody, it certainly is right for some people. So mortgages are one way to go, and again, we have great people to help you do that part of it. Now, this has been your home. Maybe it's been your home for 5 years, maybe it's been your home for 50 years, but there's an emotional component of it. And sometimes I've heard people tell me that there's no attachment, but as it gets closer to the sale date or the move-out date, the emotions kick in, and that's natural. So the purpose of bringing it up here really is just to acknowledge the emotional component. And it's okay to have those emotions. When you're looking at the decision of selling the house, there's the emotional decision and the business decision. I always encourage to acknowledge the emotional, but at the same time, let the business decision guide the direction you're going as far as how to sell and when to sell. I think that if you make a plan or roadmap of where you are and where you want to go, it's a great way to go. Moving can be overwhelming. If you create a plan with a timeline, giving yourself as much time as possible, and then break it down into manageable tasks. Some of the things you're going to want to look at is all the things you have in your house. There's a lot of treasures that you might want to keep. There's things that you might want to sell. There's items that you'll give to your family or to friends, and then there's things that you're probably going to get rid of. Now, one of the recommendations I have is if you're giving things away or selling them, go to like Staples or Walmart. And they sell these little colored stickers. So maybe you put green on everything that's going to your new house and red on everything that's going to be thrown out. Think of the stoplight there. And pick a different color for the family members. And that way, as you go through the house, you can realize these items have been allocated to a certain place, and then there's other items that you still need to consider what you're going to do. It's just a little tool that makes things a little bit better. And don't be afraid to let your family help you. Sometimes we don't want to ask for help, but again, as I said, this can be overwhelming, and the more help, the better. The next area is tax implications. What are the tax implications of downsizing? That is all individual from one person to the next. Each person has their own unique set of financial situations. If you're moving to another state, that brings in a whole different set of tax implications. I would suggest seeking the advice of a tax professional. I have some great accountants that I can give you the names, and you can talk to them and maybe get some guidance on helping you. In these type of situations, getting the guidance earlier than later is usually the best way to go. If you sell your house and then move to another state and then talk to an accountant, you might find out that you made a few decisions that may not have been in your best interest along the way. So if you are prepared, asking the questions in advance and getting the input, then you might find that it's makes for a better transition transactions for you. The next part, of course, then is we're talking about the accounting side, is the legal side. You'll need an attorney to handle your closing. They'll do paying off the title. If you're buying, they'll do the title search. If there's a mortgage to pay off, they handle that part of it, preparing the deed. We have some great attorneys, and depending on where you are at that point, you might consider updating wills or creating a trust. So the attorneys have great value added to the transaction. And again, we have great attorneys locally that will help guide you along the way. Now, there are a lot of different pieces of getting ready to move, and we have a lot of contractors, and we have a lot of people that we work with on a regular basis. Could be, who do I call to get a dumpster? And what movers do you recommend? If you're getting the house ready to sell, curb appeal is important, and you might want the name of some landscapers that can spruce up your house a little bit. How about a estate company, somebody that can come in and do an estate sale and take some of the pressure off you where they're handling a lot of the details. So even things like electricians, plumbers, that work that may need to be done, either getting ready to sell or once the house is under contract, and inspections may have called out an issue. So we have a lot of great contacts, and we're happy to help with those. Now, some of the side notes I put in here are, if you have grandchildren or children, you can help them purchasing a house with gift money. So a lot of mortgage programs allow gift money, so that's sometimes a nice way to help out the next generation. Some of what I have included in the package is the mission statement for Kennedy Real Estate Solutions. Some of the reasons that we're a great company to help sell. We do a monthly newsletter, which we get a lot of great feedback on, some nice quotes and all, and I'll put one of those in there. So again, if you have any questions, it's Kevin Kennedy, Kennedy Real Estate Solutions, and there is the contact information. Happy to answer questions. Send an email and a phone number, and you can talk directly if that helps. And you might in addition to getting this package, you might be interested in getting our monthly newsletter, which is really a fun thing to read. Thank you for attending, and